Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to the School of Science. My name is Luke and this is the match preview for Arsenal versus Everton. Now I'm glad I didn't do this whole, pre-match, post-match thing before which game was it? The Leeds game, because, well, actually it was the Merseyside derby, sorry. Because this would be very confusing right now, because you'd be thinking, why on earth is he doing it so suddenly again? Now, if anyone is unfamiliar with what's going on at the moment, this is our match in hand. So this game was meant to be played around September, but unfortunately with the Queen's pass and everything, this game did get cancelled. And this is apparently the only time slot that because it's on. So yeah. Now, to tell you the God's honest truth, after the performance against Aston Villa, actually, no, I'm going to say this right now. We played well against Aston Villa. The only downside with our squad at the moment is we've just not got a finishing product. Because we're missing the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, it's just blatantly evident that we just haven't got anything there to kind of finish from open play. So our best hope at the moment is more than anything to try and force a corner, a free kick or a penalty. And then from there, we can try and work a conversion to score. But for the time being right now, open play is just not our friend. We are not in a position to be scoring from open play right now. And it's sad to see, because we've got the likes of Mopai, we've got the likes of Sim, Damari Gray, Dwight McNeil, Alex Iwobi, Abdoulaye Corey, Amadou Onana. These are guys who, they have got a bit of a goal presence about them, but they just haven't got enough to get consistent shots at goal. We are missing the likes of our DCLs. We're missing Richarlison. To say we're missing Richarlison is an absolute massive understatement. He was an absolute critical player for us last season to try and help us stay up, and unfortunately with us passing him on to Tottenham and not getting a adequate replacement, we are now suffering because of it. And this isn't just from the summer. This is both summer and January windows. We should have been going out of our way to get a replacement to try and come in and try and fill the gap, because we are missing that so severely. And unfortunately, the Everton boards have not been able to do this. They have failed us quite severely, and I want to say I'm annoyed, but in all honesty, this is basically just your standard textbook Everton now. We sell on a player for a decent profit, and from there we don't capitalize from it. We did the exact same thing when we sold Wayne Rooney. We've done the exact same thing when we sold Romelu Lukaku. And now we've done the exact same thing again when we sold Richarlison. This is just Everton. We sell on players and we don't get adequate replacements. I mean, we did the same with Lescott. I could name player after player after player that we've sold on, and we've never gotten anyone to fall in line and be either as good or better than them. It's never the case. Now, granted, over the course of like 3, 4, 5 years, yeah, sure, we'll probably have someone who bleeds in and becomes as good, if not better. But normally, as the case is, we struggle for those 4 or 5 years afterwards. And unfortunately, this is probably going to be the season that we end up going down because of it. I certainly hope not. I am still optimistic and saying that we might get out of this by the skin of our teeth. But in all fairness, I am completely numb to the fact now that if we go down, we go down. I am over it, in all honesty, and I put the blame solely on the board, not being able to actually run a bloody football club. Some of the members of the board have been there for upwards of 20 years, and they believe that good times are 3 or 4 semi-finals, 1 final, and no silverware to account for it. So if that's what you call good times, all I can say is you might want to re-fucking think that. Now, on the other hand, let's talk about Arsenal real quick. Arsenal, since they last played us and we beat them 1-0 from Tarkowski corner, they have had a little bit of a sputtered re-go. They've had a sputtered start after that. They lost to Man City. They won against Aston Villa. They're still top of the table, and if they are to beat us, that will be it'll definitely be the win that will see them close to the top, to be telling you the God's honest truth. They've got a very, very good side, and under good old Arteta, they have got themselves a real peach of a squad that can really do damage when it needs to. They've got the likes of Odegaard, they've got the likes of Trossard, who we should have really have went for instead of bloody Neil Mopai. We should have, honest to God, went for Trossard, I personally feel. But that's in the past. They've got him, we don't. They've got Saka, they've got Jesus. Not even sure whether he's going to play. I'm not 100% sure. I've noticed in the past couple of games he's not really been featuring. I'm not sure whether it's injury or he's fallen out of favour with I keep going to say Ancelotti. Arteta. It's Arteta. I know it's Arteta. But for some reason my mind keeps going for Ancelotti. I don't know why. But Arteta. He might have fallen out of favour with Arteta. I'm not 100% sure. But regardless of how they do it, they could probably even throw their B team out and really give us some hell. But I think Everton, the way we have been playing, we haven't been playing bad. Under Sean Dyche, we've been a lot more physical. We've been a lot more mobile. We've been moving around a lot more. We're just lacking that final touch to, seal a game away. And it is really sad to say. But hopefully going to the Emirates, we might be able to actually, grind out a draw. Or, who knows, might even surprise someone and, maybe win. You never know. You never know with these sorts of games. It's very difficult. Everton, for some reason, when it comes to these sorts of games, we turn out and we look absolutely phenomenal. But then when we go back, like when we've got the next home game against Brentford, we're going to go out there and probably look absolutely shambolic. Or when we go to Nottingham Forest, we might go out there and just not show up at all. It's one of those things, and it's a weird enigma that is Everton Football Club. We either come out absolute guns blazing and absolutely curb stomp our opposition, or we come out whimpering and barely able to bloody put up a fight. There's no in between. There's no point where we say, okay, they played like an average Everton team. There's none of that. It's either they played terrible or they've played amazingly. But yeah, I'm going to just make a quick little predicted starting lineup. So for Everton, I'm thinking it's going to be very similar to how we played against Aston Villa. So Pickford in goal, Coleman. Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to change up a little bit. So instead of Coleman, I would like to do Godfrey. And then you'd have Tarkowski and Cody on the left. I would like, if Vinagre is fit, I would be putting Vinagre in for Mykolenko, because Mykolenko, although he's been doing well, he's been a little bit too consistent in the squad. And when I say he's done well, he's done okay. But I feel like we need to give Vinagre a go. We've loaned him. He needs to be utilised. And anytime I've seen him play, he does play well. So I would be tempted to put him in place and see how that goes. So you've pretty much got Pickford in goal. You're looking at Godfrey, Tarkowski, Cody, and Vinagre, if he can play. Otherwise, it's going to be back to Mykolenko. Then in the midfield, I would be doing Decore, Guy. Well, actually, no. Because it's going to be a 4-1-4-1. So you're going to have Idrissa Gueye as the number 6 between the defence and the midfield. And then the midfield would consist of Decore, Onana, Iwobi. And then on the left, I would put McNeil. And then up top on his own, I would probably put Ellis Sims. I mean, in all fairness, what have we got to lose? Neil Maupay, I like the guy. He does put a shift in, but unfortunately, he's not physical enough or tall enough to really be doing a 4-5-1 or a 4-1-4-1 sort of formation. So in all fairness, I would rather see someone like Ellis Sims. Now, granted, he's not exactly a Premier League striker, but he is very, very well. He's tall, he's physical, and in all honesty, it's the closest thing we have as like a Dominic Calvert-Lewin 2.0. So that's how I would actually do it out. So it's a 4-1-4-1. It's similar to how we've played it against previous teams, whether that be Aston Villa, Leeds, Arsenal, Liverpool. We've played this as a fairly consistent sort of lineup, and it's a good lineup for us. And normally what will happen is first 15 to 20 minutes, we're going to pretty much go and push the ever-loving hell out of our opposition. So in this case, Arsenal. If we're able to get a goal within those first few minutes, I would not argue if Sean Dyche turns around and goes, right, we've got a goal, park the bus, just double layer that defence, make sure nothing gets through, just soak up whatever attack they throw at us, try and catch him on a counter. We'll work it like that. If he does it like that, he does it like that. And I would not argue that. Also, as a note, I would definitely be looking at potentially swapping out Cody at some point in that game and try and bleed in Yerry Mina a little bit. Because, as many people will say, although he is so injury prone that it's not even funny, he is still one of our best players that we've got. He's a very physical presence in that back line. He can get forward, he can get his head on the ball, and he can win us fouls as well. He's very good at annoying opposition who will foul him. He'll get fouls for us, and from there we can work from it. It can be a good way to hold up play. It can be a good way to waste time. We've just got to try and utilize him and get him back in the squad somehow, because he's a very, very good asset for the club. Unfortunately, as I said, he is injury prone, so having him as like a bit part is good, but we can't isolate him out of the squad altogether. It's sad to see. But yeah, that's the Everton squad. So what I'm going to make a little prediction again, as I normally do. I've scoured over a few websites where we've done match previews, predictions, predicted lineups and everything, and I'm going to see what sort of squad I can come up with for Arsenal. So in goal, obviously Ramsdale, absolutely solid keeper. Can't say very much else about him. He's just a really good keeper. That's all I can say. He's got very good distribution. He's able to actually stop the ball really well, and he communicates well with his backline. It's actually kind of terrifying as well. So, and then you're going to have Tomiyasu, Saliba, Gabriel, and Zinchenko, with Xhaka, Partey, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, and Trossard. Jesus Christ, that is a terrifying squad. That's all I can say. Bukayo Saka is an absolutely brilliant player. Martinelli, brilliant player. Odegaard, brilliant player. Zinchenko, we should have got him. We were looking at him. We should have got him, because Man City were never utilising him the way they should have. They were having him as a left or right back when he's more of a central midfielder. The fact that they didn't utilise him to the best of their extent is just criminal. But yeah, Tomiyasu, he's a really good player. So is Partey. There's a lot. The Arsenal team is just packed with brilliant, brilliant players. And I can't praise Arteta enough. He's really done a good job with that squad. When he first went in after Unai Emery had parted ways with Arsenal, I know a lot of the Arsenal fans wanted to give him the time of day, and it took about 2 or 3 seasons for him to get properly bedded in. But now they are seeing a very, very good Arsenal team, and it's one, even in the preseason, when they turned us over, that was a terrifying game, just for the fact that every single one of those players, they're not just talented, they're really, really in good shape. They are willing to run the miles. They really do put the yards in, and they will outrun a lot of opposition. They don't just play smart, they play hard as well. So that is definitely one thing to take into account. But in any case, guys, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. I apologise that this one's actually shorter than what it normally is. I can't actually see the time right now. It is sitting right there, but because no glasses on, I can't see absolutely anything. So yeah, one thing to note as well, the previous game against Aston Villa, I've not been able to do a post-match reaction. In all fairness, I've left it way too late, and I'd feel awkward now making a post-match reaction now that it's nearly 3 days to 4 days since that game has occurred. So apologies on that one. My main words about it are Andy Taylor is absolute complete and utter shite. He is a fucking terrible referee. He does not know how to let games go on. But if he does want to let games go on, it's usually at the behest of Everton. I don't know what it is, but in all fairness, I do have a genuine feeling that he has a chip on his shoulder against Everton Football Club. Whether this is actually a thing or not, I don't know, but it just seems blatant. In the second minute, when Onana apparently commits a foul, I did not see him. I could not see it, because at that entire time, the bloody ball was out and Jordan Pickford was currently collecting it to do a goal kick. He had given Onana a yellow card, and that did affect his mentality and made it so that Onana could not be the 100% of Onana that he could be. He couldn't fly some tackles in. He was a lot more cautious. So those sorts of things are just, no, that's fucking terrible. Also, regarding the pen, I feel like it was one that should have went to VAR. Chances are it probably would have still been given a penalty. But looking at it from multiple angles, at one angle, it looks like Adjusticate doesn't get the ball altogether. And that's when you look at it from outside the box, from around the halfway point. However, when you look at it from side on, you can see that he actually rolls his foot over the ball. Now, granted, his knee does follow through into the back of the other player's knee. But in all fairness, if you get the ball, you get the ball. So it's one of them. It really was a toss-up. It was a 50-50. Now, if it would have been on the other foot, no pun intended, and this was an Everton player, chances are this wouldn't have been given. They would have done his usual gesture of doing that, you know, no foul, get up sort of thing. So that's all I can really say about it. I mean, granted, I've said what I've had to say. Everton are definitely improving as a squad, but we just need a striker badly. Whether it be bled through via the academy, whether it be getting Ellis Sims more time so that he can try and find his strides and try and get him to try and be a little bit more complete of a striker, or whether it be trying to find out what matches some of the Calvert-Lewin really likes and what sort of car he really likes in order to get him back into the football and mindset again. Because in all fairness, apparently it's not a physical injury that's keeping him out right now. It's a mental issue. So there's a lot to unpack about that. I would probably be tempted to make another video about that. And there's also a video that I would like to do regarding time wasting in football and how timekeeping should be done. Because I'll be honest, there's a lot of different sports out there that manage timekeeping a lot better than football. And traditions be damned if we're going to try and, improve football in one way or another, trying to get rid of this whole time wasting bollocks. But in any case, guys, I am sorry to be an absolute downer today. I will catch you guys in the next video. Hopefully this is going to be a post-match where we are singing the joys of Everton. So take care, have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.